Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn to draw a linear graph. We've got 4 success criteria, and the first one is to identify equations of horizontal and vertical lines on a graph. So horizontal lines on a graph are always labelled as y equals, and a horizontal line looks like this. Vertical lines on a graph are always labelled as x equals, and vertical lines look like this. So we're being asked, what is the equation of this blue line on the graph? Now it goes through the y-axis at 5, and if we plot some coordinates on it, we can see that all the y coordinates are 5. So this is the line y equals 5. It goes through the y-axis at the point 5, and all the coordinates on it have a y coordinate of 5. For this amber line, if we look at some coordinates on it, you can see that all of the coordinates will have an x coordinate of 3, and it goes through the x-axis at the point 3. So this is the line x equals 3. So here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So the blue line is y equals 4. The red line is y equals minus 3. The amber line is x equals minus 2. The green line is x equals 1. And the pink line is x equals 4. Here's some more questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Here are your answers. So x equals 3 looks like this. Y equals 6 looks like this. X equals minus 3 looks like this. Y equals minus 1 looks like this. Y equals 0.5 looks like this. And x equals 0 looks like this. You also need to know the equations of two diagonal lines. So this line and this line. The green line, if we look at some coordinates, you can see that the x and the y coordinates are always the same. So the green line is known as y equals x. For the red line, you can see that all the coordinates on this line have the same x and y coordinates, except one of them's negative and one's positive. So this red line is the line y equals minus x. Now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to complete a table of values. So we want to complete a table of values for the line y equals 2x minus 1. So this means to get the y value, we substitute in each x value times by 2 and then take away 1, and that will give us the y value. So it helps to start with the positive x values first. So we're going to start with x equals 3. So if x equals 3, to get the y value, we times by 2 and then take away 1. So 2 times 3 is 6, take away 1 is 5. So when x equals 3, y equals 5. When x equals 2, 2 times 2 is 4, take away 1 is 3. When x equals 1, 2 times 1 is 2, take away 1 is 1. When x equals 0, 2 times 0 is 0, take away 1 is minus 1. When x equals minus 1, 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, take away 1 will be minus 3. When x equals minus 2, 2 times minus 2 is minus 4, take away 1 is minus 5. And when x equals minus 3, 2 times minus 3 is minus 6, take away 1 is minus 7. So now we've completed our table of values. We can see there's a pattern as the numbers go up in 2s. That's because the gradient of the line is 2. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Here's your answers. So we start when x equals 3, and we're doing this for the line y equals 3x plus 2, so that means we need to times by 3, then add 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 3 times minus 1 is minus 3, plus 2 is minus 1. Three times minus 2 is minus 6, plus 2 is minus 4. And finally, 3 times minus 3 is minus 9, plus 2 is minus 7. So now we've completed our table of values. Here's another example. This time we want to complete the table of values for the line x plus y equals 3. That means that the x and the y coordinates need to add up to 3. So we start with x equals 3. So 3 plus y equals 3, so y must be 0. If x equals 2, 2 plus y equals 3, so y must be 1. When x equals 1, 1 plus y equals 3, so y must be 2. When x equals 0, 0 plus y equals 3, so y must be 3. When x equals minus 1, minus 1 plus y equals 3, so y must be 4. When x equals minus 2, minus 2 plus y equals 3, so y must be 5. And finally, minus 3 plus y equals 3, so y must be 6. And now we've completed the table of values. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here's your answers. So for the line x plus y equals 5, that means that the x and y values need to add up to 5. So when x is 3, y must be 2. When x equals 2, y must be 3. When x equals 1, y must be 4. When x equals 0, y must be 5. When x equals minus 1, y must be 6. When x equals minus 2, y must be 7. And when x equals minus 3, y must be 8. So now we've completed the table of values. Here's another example. So we want to complete the table of values for 10 take away y equals x. So if x equals 3, what number do we take away 10? Do we take away from 10 to make 3? So in this case, y must be 7. When x equals 2, 10 take away y equals 2, so y must be 8. When x equals 1, 10 take away y equals 1, so y must be 9. When x equals 0, 10 take away y equals 0, so y must be 10. When x equals minus 1, y must be 11. When x equals minus 2, y must be 12. And when x equals minus 3, y must be 13. So now we've completed the table of values. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Here's your answers. So when x equals 3, 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 take away y equals 0. So y must be 6. When x equals 2, 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 take away y equals 0. So y must be 4. When x equals 1, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 take away y is 0, so y must be 2. When x equals 0, y must be 0. When x equals minus 1, y must be minus 2. When x equals minus 2, y must be minus 4. And when x equals minus 3, y must be minus 6. And now we've completed the table of values. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers, and there's your amber answers. So now we've completed success criteria 2. So now we're going to move on to number 3, and this is to draw a linear graph. So if we want to draw the graph of y equals 2x minus 1, we first of all need to complete a table of values, which is there, and then we can plot these values onto the graph. So when x equals 2, y equals 3, so that's the coordinate 2, 3. So we plot the coordinate 2, 3 on the graph, which would go there. When x equals 1, y equals 1, so that's the coordinate 1, 1. So we plot the coordinate 1, 1 on the graph, and that will go there. 0, minus 1 would go here. Minus 1, minus 3 would go here. Minus 2, minus 5 would go here. Once we've plotted all the coordinates, we can check that they make a straight line. If they do, we know we've got it right. If they don't, we know we've gone wrong somewhere. And then we can draw a straight line through all of the points. The line needs to go from one end of the graph to the other end of the graph, not just from point to point. Here's another example. So we want to draw the graph of x plus y equals 3. So we do a table of values, and then we plot these coordinates on the graph. So we start with the coordinate 2, 1. So that's 2 across and 1 up. Then the coordinate 1, 2. So that's 1 across and 2 up. The coordinate 0, 3, which is 0 across and 3 up. The coordinate minus 1, 4, which would go there, and then the coordinate minus 2, 5, which would go there. Once again, they should all make a straight line, and we can draw a line through all of the points. And that is the graph of x plus y equals 3. Here's another example. This time we're going to draw the graph of 2x minus y equals 0. So we do a table of values, and then we can plot these points. So 2, 4 would go here. 1, 2 would go here. 0, 0 is 0 across and 0 up, so that's in the middle. Minus 1, minus 2 would go here. Minus 2, minus 4 would go here. Then we can draw a line going through the graph through all of the points. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now we're going to move on to number 4, and this is to solve simultaneous equations graphically. So this question says solve graphically the simultaneous equations y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 5 minus 2x. This means we need to find a value for x and a value for y. So to solve it graphically, we draw both these lines on the graph, like so, and where the two lines cross is the solution. So these two lines cross at the coordinates 1, 3. So that means x equals 1 and y equals 3. So we've solved the simultaneous equation. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So we want to solve these pair of simultaneous equations graphically. So we draw y equals 3x plus 4 on the graph, and we draw y equals minus 2x minus 1 on the graph. Then we have a look to see where the two lines cross, and that's at the point minus 1, 1. So that tells us that x equals minus 1 and y equals 1. Here's some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. So now we've completed success criteria 4. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the other videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.